I will be reading from something that I typed because it's from my heart and I didn't want to miss anything, but none of it is AI generated. I listened to a recording with Dr. Jacqueline King and Regenia Jones. And when they were speaking, something that Regenia said was, "We need connection." You can find the interview in the description. After watching it, I knew I had something I needed to say. Now, let me say this. I used to be an avid person against that connection thing because I am someone who has genuinely all my life been okay with doing life in my personal life on my own. But as I began to coach mothers that were navigating turbulent or strained relationships with their adult daughters, as God had placed it upon my heart, and let me say this. I'm also, by the way, that person that didn't want to do this either because I just did not want to deal with certain aspects of women. And yes, here I am a woman, myself, mind you, and I just didn't want to. But as God continued to press that into the whole fiber and being of who I am, I stepped outside of who I was to do something greater, much bigger beyond myself. Because if I wanted to be an advocate in helping mothers that were in these turbulent relationships with an adult daughter, and also, mind you, again, I am that mother as well that needed this help that started for me 16 plus years ago. And I'm still in it. I did not have anyone that could really help me at the time with the pain, the shame, the embarrassment, the abandonment that I felt. It felt like I was living a live death, and I found myself doing what I never thought could happen to a strong person like me. I began to spiral fully out of control in so many areas of my life: health, finances, family, marriage, friendships, my very life. You name it, I was spiraling out of control. I felt like I was on an isolated island alone and no one understood. But by God's grace, He kept showing me, you are worthy. And over time, I found myself with a beating heart for us as mothers in this unique circumstance. So, in order to be there for this unique group of mothers, to help them gain peace, confidence, and purpose beyond the turbulent relationship with their adult daughters, just as God had done for me, I also knew from my own journey that it affects their careers, personal life, finances, and so much more. It meant that I needed to step out and do the things required. So, without knowing how to do this, I went on and followed the steps that God had ordered before me. And I did what He was calling for me to do. In doing so, I realized I already had everything I needed on the inside of me to help this unique group of mothers through my own life's journey, career paths, and experiences. Then I realized, even beyond that, that I had to branch out and start connecting with people. Now, this was the hard part for me. It was. But in doing that, God has led me to some amazing people. Now, let me go further. As I listened to the recording that I mentioned earlier, she talked about the connections. I knew that connection was needed, and I've been doing it a little bit. But God continues to show me it is the connections, daughter, that's going to get you to the nations that I placed in your heart. What some of you may not know is that God whispered in my ear a few years ago with tears streaming down my face. Nations will see what I will do through the turbulent relationship between you and your daughter. You will touch mothers all across nations. And when He continues, and He continued to place in my heart and my ear gates over time that nations will see what I will do through your adult daughter as I change her. And nations will see what will come through the work that I've placed inside of you. You will help nations. That's what I kept hearing. I have come to understand and realize that the only way I can help those nations of mothers in turbulent or strained relationships with their adult daughters is to dare to believe and trust God. Reach outside and say, I want to connect, because every connection has a connection. And this is how I reach nations. I need to say thank you to Dr. Jacqueline and Regenia for this interview. Many will say if they hear an interview, they will start it. And if they don't hear what they like in the first few minutes, they will stop listening. I've learned that when God draws me to something, listen to it in its entirety or completed, because the very blessing He has for you may be at the very end. I found that God was continuously showing me it is the connections that He placed before me so that I can reach the nations that He placed and birthed on the inside of me. I want to personally say thank you to every person that has connected with me, followed the YouTube channel, requested more information, and you didn't even know who I was. You simply saw that I asked for the connection, and some just saw a few of my posts and you asked me for the connection. God is doing an amazing thing, and I'm grateful for the nation of mothers that will no longer be on an isolated island alone through my obedience unto God. On January the 20th, 2023, I heard clear as day, consistency will get you there, but trusting me will keep you there. Depending on where you may be hearing this, if you would like to connect, please don't hesitate to click that connect option, follow the page, or subscribe. You can also click in the description to find out more about Mothers Conquering Together coaching. And as always, have an amazing rest of your day on purpose.